हेलो एंड गुड इवनिंग। वर्ल्ड हेल्थ डे पे आप सबका स्वागत है। मेरा नाम है अभिनव त्रिवेदी एंड आई एम जॉइंड बाय डॉक्टर ईश्वर गिलाडा, who is the president at ASI and consultant of HIV and infectious diseases at Unison Medicare. I spoke to Dr. Gilada a couple of months ago and we discussed how practical was Ayushman Bharat scheme, what were things happening on the ground, how corruption is rampant and what needs to change in terms of pricing, in terms of treatment of patients and also in terms of reaching out from the government. डॉक्टर गिलाडा, पहली बात तो बहुत बहुत नमस्कार। वर्ल्ड हेल्थ डे पे आपका स्वागत है और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। जब आपसे मैंने कुछ महीने पहले बात की थी तो आपने मुझे कुछ रियलिस्टिक सिचुएशंस बताई थी आयुष्मान भारत की ऑन ग्राउंड। हाउ डू यू सी दोस सिचुएशंस टुडे? हैज समथिंग चेंज्ड? व्हाट इज द रियलिस्टिक असेसमेंट ऑफ आयुष्मान भारत अकॉर्डिंग टू यू?
The thing which is changed is CEO of Ayushman Bharat is now changed. So till we are accustomed to the new CEO, till the new CEO understand the intricacies of Ayushman Bharat, I don't know. Currently, Ayushman Bharat is also catering to COVID-related management to some extent.
Okay.
Actually, the COVID management people also are looking at Ayushman Bharat to be coming to aid to people suffering from COVID and their family suffering from COVID.
And rightfully so, doctor, because Ayushman Bharat was intended for people who are marginalized sections of the society, जिनके पास थोड़ा सा इकोनॉमिक बैकग्राउंड नहीं है, जिनके पास बहुत सारी एमिनिटीज वो अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते हैं, उनके लिए था। पर जब आपसे मेरी बात हुई थी, बहुत ही डिस्करेजिंग पिक्चर थी। ऑफ कोर्स, बीइंग अ डॉक्टर, यू आर ऑप्टिमिस्टिक अबाउट द फ्यूचर, बट देयर वर सम रियलिस्टिक असेसमेंट्स व्हिच वर मेड फ्रॉम योर एंड एज वेल, like rate difference in terms of Delhi, Bombay, which are metros, and also in small towns, and how corruption was rampant. Can you explain some of those facts to the viewers which you explained to us a couple of months ago?
Basically, see, there are certain places they put the rates which were so low. Then when people want to understand why the rates are so low, they said no, these are the basic rates, and the rates were no different between a small place, taluka place, district place, and a city like Mumbai. So what people started doing, without doing cataract, they will put somebody had come, the cataract was done, so many cataracts were done, and there was neither cataract nor surgery was done. So those kind of scandals started. And similarly, stents, no stent was fitting, the stent charges. So I remember one thing, when one of the LIC agent had come to me and he said that you are such a clinic, I will put a whole queue of people here. And I said, for what? LIC related medical checkup. And he gave me a list of medical checkup and he said how much it will cost. I said 850 rupees. नहीं सर, 500 रुपए में करना है. So I said 850 तो मेरा लागत है, यानी मेरे को 100 रुपए भी छोड़ दूंगा तो 750. बोल नहीं सर, आपको क्या करना है? के सामने खड़ा करना है, बटन दबाना है, पिक्चर लेना ही नहीं है, यूरिन लेना है, फेक देना है. I said that is the way you are dealing with. वैसे सर ऐसे ही चलता है. So those people who want to get into this, whether they pay 500 or 450, it is in pocket. If honest people like us want to do any kind of business, we put honestly money, we want to recover, that is not possible. So we don't get into any government business, we don't get into any government subsidy, we don't want to do that.
But Dr. Gilada, if I ask you, like Ayushman Bharat scheme को launch किए हुए भी 4-5 साल हो चुके हैं। Remember 2016 या 17 के आसपास ये फ्लैगशिप स्कीम थी नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार की, and it was intended to help the marginalized sections of the society. 5 साल बाद आज वर्ल्ड हेल्थ डे के ओकेजन पे आप उसको कहाँ रेट करेंगे? 10 में से कितने नंबर देंगे आप उसको?
बेसिकली क्या है कि
मैं डिटेल्स में बाद में जाऊंगा। पहले आप मुझे बताइए कि 10 में से अगर आपको नंबर देने हो एग्जीक्यूशन में, रीच आउट में, तो आप 10 में से कितने नंबर देंगे?
मैं न्यूट्रल रहूंगा, 5 या 6 पे जाऊंगा बस।
5 या 6 पे जाएंगे। अब आप बताइए आप 5 या 6 पे क्यों जाएंगे?
क्योंकि क्या पहले कुछ नहीं था, कुछ तो आया। पहले बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन लोगों के लिए कुछ नहीं था, वो दे यूज्ड टू गो टू चीफ मिनिस्टर फंड, उसके लिए एमएलए का लेटर लेके आओ, फिर चीफ मिनिस्टर फंड में से कुछ नहीं मिले, एंड दैट वाज द डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द चीफ मिनिस्टर. So आयुष्मान भारत में क्या है कि एटलीस्ट एवरीबडी बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन, दोज हु कैन प्रूव दे आर बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन, दे कैन गेट समथिंग, एंड द लिमिट वाज अप टू 5 lakh. So that way I do not say that people did not get benefit. People got benefit. But India is a country of 1.4 billion people.
Correct.
So even in percentage also, scandalous people are in that many high numbers.
Definitely.
So it will be small. And they have more brains working than the government brain. They have more brain working than the system's brain. So
जी.
that way they would like to make quick money. The other problem is, how do we rate who is below poverty line? There are hard parameters like age. If you have a Aadhaar card, you can say age is so and so, hard parameter. In poverty line, there is no hard parameter. So when they want to take benefit, everybody will go below poverty line. Barring 10, 15, 20% people which do not want to be in queue or do not want to be taking any free. Or 70% will go below poverty line. So there are no parameters.
So, Dr. Saab, going forward, what changes do you recommend? Do you think that the policymakers need to come out of their AC chambers and start framing at least healthcare policies from the ground and not from the towers?
No, healthcare policy has to be always, number one, devised by healthcare professionals, not by IAS or the management people. Management people can come in later, where how to manage the scheme. But basically, policy making has to be done by people at ground level and healthcare workers.
Okay.
Keep in mind what are the health priorities, how do we reach, and by being healthcare professionals, we again do not mean those which are sitting in offices and doing only paperwork. We have meaning those which are at the ground level, those which are operating, doing practice, dealing with people. And medical profession is such a profession where you are triple way benefited. A person who thank you and touches your feet, that you are next to God. The people pay you for fee for your services, and people become your propagator everywhere. This doctor is good doctor. So that way people know that which doctor is good, and doctor also know which patient need to be supported. I do not have to ask my patient what is your income. When I see the patient has a slipper in his foot, or his clothing is such, by his lookout, I automatically make him discount. But if somebody says I'm a poor, but he brings a phone which is charging, which is costing 50,000 rupees and having a bracelet of gold, even if he says poor, I will not believe. So
आपके कहने का जो मतलब है कि डेफिनेशंस पुअर की क्योंकि क्लियर नहीं है, क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान जैसे देश में लॉ बाद में बनता है, पहले उसका तोड़ बन जाता है. इस वजह से बिकॉज ऑफ दीज old age, stone age problems which India has been suffering with, that is one reason where Ayushman Bharat उतना successful नहीं हुआ है जितना हो सकता था. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're right. And they make somebody else to certify is poor or not. The person who certifies, he will charge money to certify if the person is really not poor. So there will be a level of corruption at every level. You must have proper your census, where census will show what is that person's background, how much land he holds, what business he has, what kind of job he is doing. Currently, municipal corporation sweeper in Mumbai earns 50,000 rupees a month. How do I call him a poor? By job he is poor, but by the way of earning he is not poor. So you need to define the poverty at good length, and then decide who is actually poor. And then you can put those which are in the grey line.
Okay. Now, Dr. Gilada, that brings me to a very important, a very pertinent question about smart health card, which has been in discussion over the past few years. And I remember you have also propagated it. A lot of health professionals have been in favor of it. Do you think a smart health card is the need of the hour, and it can be successfully integrated within the Ayushman Bharat program? And of course, I know you would say yes, but how is my question? How and what should be done?
Basically, India is, besides pharma capital of the world, it is the IT capital of the world. If India doesn't do smart card system, who else will do in the world? India has to bring a smart card. Secondly, a smart card, once issued, you like today, you are giving vaccine, COVID vaccine. Now, how do we know the person has got a vaccine or not? You put on smart health card. Otherwise, you'll have to go to that particular app. So for everything is a different app. You go and bring print your certificate. If there is a smart card is there, it will show whether you have comorbidity, whether you have been vaccinated for childhood immunization, whether you have been vaccinated for COVID, when did you get vaccine. So certain things you can hide. You don't want to, for example, you don't want to show HIV, or you don't want to show something that you can hide. Again, with the consent of the person, you can put it, because a lot of times people want to take advantage of their illness by there's a concession in train travel for HIV patient. They will declare that they are positive. So it is up to the person whether to declare or not to declare certain things which are confidential in nature. But otherwise, everything else can be in smart card.
But Dr. Saab, we cannot always rely on people, because people have been known to, twist the facts which is benefiting them. I mean, we have seen multiple examples and case studies in our own country. अभी COVID-19 के टाइम पे ही जब 45 के ऊपर का आपका एज लिमिट था, बहुत सारे लोग अपने रेफरेंस से, अपने जुगाड़ से वैक्सीनेशंस ले रहे हैं, even if they do not fall in the age category, and the ministers being prime among them. Now, my question to you is कि स्मार्ट कार्ड को हम इंटीग्रेट कैसे करेंगे? और आपने बोला IT कैपिटल ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, तो मतलब क्या क्या प्रावधान होने चाहिए, कैसे शुरुआत होनी चाहिए इस तरह के प्रोग्राम की, खासकर आयुष्मान भारत को देखते हुए?
नहीं, आप स्मार्ट कार्ड, हेल्थ कार्ड लेके जाइए। आयुष्मान भारत के कोई भी जो एमपैनल डॉक्टर है या एमपैनल हॉस्पिटल है, स्मार्ट कार्ड रीड होगा। स्मार्ट कार्ड पे बताया जाएगा कि इसको हाइपरटेंशन है कि नहीं है, बिकॉज दिस इज सर्टेन थिंग you can always prove or disprove. If suppose there was a stent requirement, the blockage is there, that will be already a pictorial thing on the smart card. If there's a blood sugar, HbA1c will be on the smart card. So whatever parameters are there, that will be on smart card. You can fool that I have a headache or not. Yes, I have fever or not. You cannot fool, because fever has to be checked. Headache is your own feeling. So that way there are certain parameters which can be always proved, and that can be always put on smart card. And once on smart card, then you are comorbidity controlled or uncontrolled, whether there's one comorbidity or multiple comorbidity. And also you can put your income limit over there, whether below poverty line or poverty line. You have a ration card system of white card and yellow card, so you can put the same thing in a smart card.
Now, Doctor, since you're making this point, that also indicates a very strong direction towards the health reforms in the country. And when it comes to health reforms, how can you not include pharmaceutical companies, which are a giant lobby in themselves? Now, Ayushman Bharat will fall flat on its face if the medicines in the country are not available at cheap price to the ordinary citizens. Affordable price. Let me correct myself.
What was your question?
I'll repeat the question. Ayushman Bharat will fall flat on its face if the affordable medicines do not reach people. If people are not able to afford medicines. Now, what role do you think pharmaceutical companies can play, especially the kind of scenario which has emerged in the global scenario, which has emerged in the last 6-7 months? The two global giants, the two pharma giants, took money from the government to research on COVID-19 vaccinations, and now they have put patent on those same very vaccines and are charging billions and billions of dollars from the people who have funded it. Now, my question is, are there some health reforms needed vis-a-vis Ayushman Bharat, which directly regulates pharmaceutical companies in the country, and how?
I am not sure whether Ayushman Bharat can regulate pharma companies, but Government of India can regulate pharma companies. At the same time, we must honor those pharma companies which are doing honest business. They are trying to bring in some good molecule. And the buffer margin of what the drug can be available and the MRP, that buffer margin has to be reduced. Today, what is happening in COVID, we are facing a day in and day out problem here in Maharashtra, where one injection called Remdesivir, which is made by an international firm called Gilead. Gilead had given volatile license to 6 companies. Now the MRP is between 2,800 to 5,800. But the drug can be procured at 600 rupees to 900 rupees in bulk buying. That means a drug costing 900 rupees is sold for 5,800 rupees. Not only that, today there is a black market going on. So we have to bring such drug under DPCO, the Drug Price Control Order. Under DPCO, they cannot escalate the price at X level. For example, there are all the drugs of TB, they are under DPCO. So no one can do a black marketing of TB drug. Similarly, currently if it is happening, we should apply Epidemic Act to those people which are indulging in that. I don't say all pharma companies are indulging, but there are middlemen people are indulging. What happens during any kind of calamity? For first month they have sympathy, second month they have empathy, third month they want to start making money. And now after 1 year they want to build money in a huge way. Today, after 1 year also, we have not come out with any such order of DPCO of putting a cap on the price of Remdesivir. So what we faced 6 months before during first surge, we are facing similar thing in the second surge, probably with a more intensity than earlier. So we need to understand the ground reality, and we need to act. We know Twitter handle. I put on Twitter. What happens after Twitter? If I have been putting that thing 6 months before, same thing I am repeating now, what do I achieve? Nothing.
But Doctor, you are presenting a broad picture. Okay. Now, Government of India can definitely regulate pharma companies. Ayushman Bharat cannot. You very clearly made that distinction. But I'll put a fact in front of you. अभी परसों की टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया का फ्रंट पेज स्टोरी था, where only in the Pune district, Pune Municipal Corporation, if I count the number of masks, and by masks I do not mean the fancy masks, the basic masks, the collection of the masks was 28 crores 19 lakh rupees. Just by selling masks, the Pune Municipal Corporation or the Pune 28 करोड़ 19 लाख के मास्क बिके थे पुणे में. अब 28 करोड़ 19 लाख के मास्क, इनमें से कितना परसेंटेज कोविड-19 के रिसर्च में फंडेड है, कितना रिसर्च कंपनीज की जेब में है, कितना पैसा कंपनीज की जेब में है, और कितना पैसा जेन्युइनली उस पर्पस के लिए एलोकेट हुआ है. if a small commodity like mask can raise the bill up to 28 crores and 19 lakhs, then what about other equipments which are needed in times like these? I mean, is there any scope of regulation when it comes to pricing of pharma equipments or medicines? That's what I'm trying to ask you.
No. You see, basically, if the government of India decides, they can call all the major players in pharma companies, ask them. You see, pharma companies are not here for charity. Let's understand. Let's be fair to them. They are for business. But ask them to have a fair business. Ask them what is your margin at retail level, distributor level, and your level. 10%, 20%, 30%, fine. 50%, fine. But don't keep a 300% margin. The moment you keep that margin, you don't know who is making money. For example, in mask or in any COVID testing or any drug, the government of India decided the COVID test should be charged 4,500 rupees initially. I went and fought with government of India. I said the material cost is 1,000 rupees. Why you have put a cap of 4,500 rupees? And let state government negotiate and reduce the price. Maharashtra government did that, brought it up to 3,500, but government of India didn't listen. I had to go to Supreme Court, get an order from Supreme Court. Thereafter, it became 2,500. Currently, the same RT-PCR test is done at 600 rupees. So all these years, why do you expect everybody to go to Supreme Court, High Court, get the orders? Do you understand? I have no ulterior motive. I don't have any interest. I am not in favor of anybody. I'm just wanting to see that the epidemic is managed properly. In that situation, if I am sending a letter, you investigate letter. I am talking to top big officers in the government of India. If they have not done that, I have to go to Supreme Court. Similarly, on mask, Maharashtra government put a cap on 4 rupees on mask. Mask was sold up to 20 rupees, 30 rupees initially, ordinary mask. And we have been buying mask for last 35 years in our clinic. The same supplier says, "No, sir, iska bhav to 4 guna ho gaya." Material cost remains same, the labor remains same, your unit remains same, the sale is more, so you should reduce the price. They are making money, but you have to bring in a regulation, put it onto them that no, you cannot sell more than that. Despite that, they were selling higher price. Sir, हमारे पास पहले का stock पड़ा है. So what do you mean by पहले का stock पड़ा है? So there are issues which need to be fought out, and you take them into confidence. Things will be done. It is not that it will not be done, but what happens is, on one occasion we praise them, on the other occasion we say pharma company chore hai. That is not going to work. Maybe there are some people having ulterior motive, but by and large people are doing a great job. Today, not only we are catering to India, we are catering to 160 countries in the world. A lot of countries are surviving only on Indian pharma companies. So even if you shut them totally for India, they will still survive because they have 160 countries backed up. So let us understand their sacrifice, let us understand their business. And some of them are really doing fantastic, but you take them into confidence. Today, pharma companies have to keep fighting for getting a voluntary license or compulsory license. Government of India doesn't issue license. I don't know why they're scared of some big pharma companies internationally. So the fight goes on for years and years and years. Why should it happen? We should discuss what is requirement for our country. Where there is a patent, we can always invade the patent by way of compulsory license or voluntary license. Or Indian companies making patent, you honor that patent. Let it not be kind of copied in other countries. Because, for example, our basmati rice or neem has been patented in America. The thing which belonged to our forefathers, if they had money to go and patent there, it doesn't belong to them. So we need to safeguard the interest of people also.
Okay. So, Dr. Gilada, if I ask you to sum this up, लोग अक्सर बोलते हैं regulator needs to have more teeth. But in case like Ayushman Bharat, policies like Ayushman Bharat needs to have wings. What, according to you, are the top 3 measures which need to be taken by the government of India and the health ministry to give Ayushman Bharat more wings pertaining to the situation right now?
I think number one, smart health card as soon as possible. Number two, decide what is poverty line and make also a kind of a borderline buffer margin.
Okay.
Poverty and no poverty and in between. And sometimes you can give benefit of doubt for the buffer line people, borderline people. And thirdly, let the policies be at the ground level by involving medical community, how much that surgery would cost, how much that particular procedure would cost in reality. Put 10%, 20% plus minus and pass. You don't make it 50%, don't make it 50% plus. So that is the way it has to run.
Okay. Now, when you say poverty, ये मेरा आखिरी सवाल होगा आपसे. आपको ये देखो कोविड-19 में जो वैक्सीनेशन का जो शेड्यूल है, it is according to age. Like 60 plus में ऐसा फिर 45 ऊपर फिर 45 से नीचे कर दिया है. Do you think vaccination speed would have been faster had it been according to economic strata of people?
No, you see, because the COVID did not discriminate between economies, therefore we need to go by who are affected more and where people are dying more. What they found that people above 60 and people with comorbidity above 45, the total deaths are 88% of COVID deaths in this group, in two groups. Therefore, they were prioritized. Initially, they prioritized only 45 and above with comorbidity. But underhand dealing was happening. A lot of people without comorbidity were getting doctor certificate and getting the jabs done. So good that government of India has come out with a solution. Anybody who is above 45 can be vaccinated. Now the second issue comes is 25 to 45. These are the breadwinners of the society. Currently, we say these are irresponsible people. They are spreading COVID everywhere. They are getting COVID to their parents. They are getting COVID from their home to society. Then you have to prioritize them rather than blaming them. Make a youth-centric policy. You don't have to give free vaccine to everybody. You make 3 categories. Like currently, there 2 categories are there: free and 250 rupees. Let vaccine be with all the doctors. Let it be 500 rupees, 1000 rupees. Let people buy. Nobody wants to spend 4 hours, 3 hours time in a queue for the getting vaccine. They would earn that much in that queue in getting vaccine from their own doctor at their time, at their convenience. So it should be made available to 25 to 45 also as early as possible.
Sure. Now, as of now, the Ayushman Bharat scheme gets around 5 marks out of 10 from Dr. Gilada, and according to him, we need primarily 3 more measures to scale up this range towards 10. Number 1 is smart health card. Number 2 is defining poverty so as to it helps in implementation. And number 3 is regulation of the pharmaceutical companies as well as the doctors operating in this field so as to reduce the efficiency margin. And by efficiency margin, I mean the cost efficiency margin so that it reaches maximum number of people. Dr. Gilada, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining Business World on the World Health Day. Ladies and gentlemen, we have lined up a good panel for you. After this, there's one more panel coming up. Dr. Gilada, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.